Today we have Andrew Jones joining us. It's good to have you, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you've got a lot of titles, a few titles like pastor, right? You've been a pastor of what, youth?
I've been a pastor of youth, young adults, worship, outreach, missions, whatever, you name it.
The list goes on. And what
Yes.
is your title? What's your role right now?
Right now, I'm the associate pastor at Christian Life Center in Ajax.
Which probably means you do all of those things.
Yes,
Right?
all those things and whatever else my senior pastor gives me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. And you're a songwriter.
Yes, I am.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wrote a song. Well, I've written a few songs, but I finally decided to, put one out there. And so in 2019, I put one out called I See the Lord, and it's out on different streams now. And so people can listen to it and take part in it.
And worship's really at the heart of who you are, isn't it?
Yes, worship is probably my favorite thing to do besides spending time with my family and my wife and kids. But worship is the thing I love the most.
I love it. And should we tell our viewers who you're related to, because they know someone in your family?
Yes, you can.
Right?
I'm related to Shireen Jones, who's been on, Shireen Spencer, sorry.
Right.
I want to say Jones because my last name's Jones and she's my sister, but Shireen Spencer,
And we love Shireen on the show, so we just had to invite her brother, But tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where did you grow up? And at what point did you choose to follow Jesus?
Well, we grew up in Scarborough, Ontario, and I'm from a family of 6. So there's 4 of us, Shireen, obviously, and then I have 2 other sisters. I'm the only boy in the family. So they say I'm the one that's spoiled and the one that's, spoiled by the mother, but I don't believe that.
You don't, You don't? I'll check with your sister and see what you think.
She'll probably lie, but it's okay. But I came to know the Lord at about 8 years old. And so what happened was I remember it clearly, I was in my mom's bedroom and she was doing her own devotions, and just all of a sudden the presence of the Lord was thick in that place. And as the presence was there, I just started to cry. And I just said to my mom, "Mom, I want to accept Jesus into my life." And so she prayed with me, and then that day I accepted God into my life.
Wow. I love how God meets children. And Scripture does say all it takes is the faith of a child, right? Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's great, yeah.
How did you know that you were going to be a pastor, or did you?
Well, my dad was a pastor at first, and then he became blind because of glaucoma. And so because of just how things were back in those days, he couldn't do full-time ministry. And so, he had always preached at different places and different venues, and I would look at pastoring and be like, I don't want to do that. That's boring to me. But as I grew in my faith, I understood it wasn't this aha moment for me. It wasn't a altar call or thing like that. It was more of just digging deeper into the word and digging deeper into my faith. And as I dug deeper into my faith, I said, you know what, God, this is not something I want to do all my life. I don't want to do anything else but be able to share God's love full time with people and tell them about Jesus and how much that he wants to be in their lives as well.
Well, you've been doing it in all different kinds of forms. I mean, right now, too, you're on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And it's a podcast with 10 men.
Yes.
I don't know how anyone gets a word in edgewise, but our viewers would also know Chris Chase.
Yeah.
And so you're on the podcast with Chris called The House of Common Show. So tell me a little bit about that. How did that podcast start? What's it look like?
Yeah, so the House of Common, it happened because we have a group chat, a text chat that we text each other. And if somebody misses a text, they're usually like 100 texts behind because it just keeps going.
I thought only women did that, but
my
man.
Goodness. Sometimes I have to put it on mute because we just get so many texts a day from everybody. But one of the guys just said, hey guys, it'd be great. We should put this on a podcast and do a video cast. And so all of us were like, yeah, sure, that would be great. And we thought, okay, maybe in a few months or whatever. And then the next thing we knew, our friend was like, okay, I have everything ready and set and ready to go. And so we're all like, okay, we're doing this. We're actually going to be taking part in this. So we started this podcast. It's about it's 10 black males just talking about life and culture and different things. And what's great about it is that we come from so many different viewpoints. Some of us think many different ways. And so we come at it from different angles and we argue and we bicker, but we're brothers. And that's what keeps us in common. That's why we call it the House of Common, because even though we have different mindsets and different thought patterns, we all come together as one, as brothers and followers of Christ.
You know, I love it. And I love that there's generations represented.
Yeah.
So oldest, like what's the oldest age?
So I would be considered the grandfather.
You're the old guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm the old guy.
Yeah.
So I'm in my mid-40s, and then we have somebody in our 20s, and then we have people that range in between. And
That's
so,
so
you know,
awesome.
two of the people I was telling you before, that two of those people on the show, those were my junior highs. And those were Chris Chase's youth.
Right.
And so we have a number of just different age groups within that group of 10 that we just share and love with each other and laugh with each other and just argue with each other. And we're just brothers.
I love that. Well, we're talking about men's health all week on this week's show. So what do you do? What do you see as maybe your own personal or what you observe as men's health issues?
Yeah, there's a lot of men's health issues. Even right now, you know, mental illness is a huge men's health issue, and just dealing with depression and just even things from the past of maybe how they grew up with their fathers and just father figures in the home. And so, you know, those are things that need to be dealt with. Those are things that need to be talked about as we deal with men's health during this time.
Well, I think you've hit something on the head there. I mean, the breakdown of the family affects everybody.
Yeah.
And young men, boys, are highly affected when there isn't a father around.
Very much so. And we even see that, just even speaking as a black male, just even within the black culture, that is a big situation and a big problem that we're having, that we need to face and we need to talk about and we need to discuss, so that people can see that, hey, there are men that are willing to do things right, and men that are willing to take care of their families, but not just take care of their families, help their families with mental health issues and make the family whole.
Right, and acknowledge those issues. We're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share more a little later, but we're looking forward to having Andrew, guest host, with us for the remainder of this week. So thanks for being with us. Well